So then ayah 286 says in Surah Al Baqara, God does not require of any soul more than what it can afford. All good will be for its own benefit, and all evil will be for its own loss. Then after that, they go into a prayer, but I think I'm going to make that for a different video. To be honest, I don't really understand what this means. Like, God does not require any soul more than what it can afford. But what about the people who are suffering? Can they afford to suffer? And then if they could afford to suffer, then why do they die? Like, some people suffer so badly that they die. But it says here, God does not require of any soul more than what it can afford. I don't really understand how that can be said when people are suffering so much that they're dying. Like, do they have stronger souls than the other person that is not suffering? Like, God puts you through starvation. You know what? Wait, hold on. What? 1 second. Okay, so I just pulled this up. I feel like I should have like a background over there with this saying. So I got to figure out how this whole TikTok thing works. But ayah 155 in Surah Al Baqara says, "We will certainly test you with a touch of fear and famine and loss of property, life and crops. Give good news to those who patiently endure." Is this a response to what's said towards the end of Al Baqarah, which is God does not require any soul what it can afford? So what they can afford, they basically, the idea, and tell me if I'm wrong on this one, because I'm trying to make sense. I'm trying my best to make sense of this. What they can afford is, your soul. Things are not supposed to be easy for you. In other words, in your life, you're being challenged with hard things, with famine, with starvation, with loss of love. And I mean, I haven't faced starvation yet, so it's kind of hard for me to say. And like, neither do I want to make a justification for that, because it is horrible. It's wild what's going on in the world, and what has always been going on in the world. It's not new, right? If you guys know what the Holodomor is, you should look up the Ukrainian Holodomor. Go on Google and look that up. It's really dark stuff. So this is normal to the human all the time. And then again, it goes, "We will certainly test you with a touch of fear, famine, and loss of property, life and crops." These are just like the cyclical things of life that affect everybody. So the bad things in your life are supposed to test you and make your soul stronger. And the good things, I know this, and the good things are supposed to be there for you to be thankful, to learn how to be thankful. But again, like, what about the people who are suffering right now? Like, how do you get around that? It seems like what this seems to be is just describing what the actual earth is. Like, it seems like the Quran seems to be discussing like objective not a morality, just objective life itself. Like, God is it's like creating the natural laws of the universe. And inside the natural laws of the universe, there is starvation, there is pain, there is famine, there is good, there is bad. But maybe nothing is good or bad unless you put that label of good or bad on it. Like, something negative could happen, but you can always choose to look at it in a positive light. I guess I'm just having like difficulty understanding that from seeing like what's happening in the Middle East. I wonder, I don't know how to understand, that kind of pain. And it's almost like it's difficult, right? Like, how do you guys figure that out? It's difficult to understand God's mission or God's plan while there's so much pain in the world, because how do you justify that pain, or is it a thing to be justified? Because if it is God, and if we're all from God, then God can do whatever he wills with us, and God being the creator of the universe, the source, and really God knows better. And I guess you could say, like, look, we can get to the deepest, we can do the most evil, we could do the most good. And without being able to do the most evil and do the most good, would we be people? Okay, let me try to think this out. I'll give you another reference and tell me if I'm on like the right track. So in ayah 30 of Al Baqarah, if you go all the way to the beginning, maybe we discussed this in like one of my first videos, I'm not sure, but it says, Ayah 30, the angels say to God, will you place in it, human beings, someone who will spread corruption and shed blood while we glorify and praises and proclaim your holiness? And God responded, I know what you do not know. Okay, fast forward to the end of this book, and it says, God does not require of any soul more than what it can afford. All good will be for its own benefit, and all be for its own loss. Now, I could be totally off here, but isn't that some things we just don't know, and it's hard to figure out? Like the human soul, maybe it's like difficult to comprehend such good. It's difficult for us to comprehend such evil. And maybe like part of that is part of the human experience, like not being able to understand how evil things can get. I'll tell you this, right? When you see like the videos of what's happening, if you see it, it like hurts your heart. It's like you're not supposed to see that. It's hurting your heart. So part of us, like, we don't understand that, and it's difficult to understand what that is. And maybe for everybody, that's just the grapple of life itself. Like it seems like every single thing is a test. They're being tested over there. The people who are perpetrating the violence are being tested to see if they will stand up against their own government to stop perpetrating that violence. The people who have the violence being perpetrated against them are being tested to see if their faith will break. And then we're being tested, the people who are not in it, to see how we stand up for the truth, how we stand up against evil. And if there wasn't evil, would you have anything to stand up against? So you would ask the question then, I guess, and this is a super crazy tangent, but I'm curious. I mean, I don't really understand the reference in this part of the book, but I'm curious to know, like, if we didn't have evil, would we know what to stand up against? I don't think so, right? Because how would we know? Which means that we would, in order for you to be good, you're pushed against something so evil. For example, I've noticed that a lot of people are converting to Islam just because of the evil that's going on. They're saying, okay, well, if this is so evil, I wonder what what Islam is like. Maybe they lied about Islam. Maybe this is one of the reasons why I'm looking into the Quran. Right? Like maybe they lied about Islam, what it clearly shows that they did. And what's also interesting, just a kind of like a reflection on this, what's also interesting is God often, at least in Surah Baqarah, talks about how the people who are perpetrating evil are the ones that are going to face tremendous torture or tremendous punishment or like it's, and what that kind of seemed to me is like sometimes it's not on us to get revenge, because the thought of revenge itself is a dye on the soul, which makes you a little bit more evil. Leave the so-called revenge onto God. Don't have that for your own human soul, because maybe your human soul can't handle certain things, and you'll feel the darkening. But what's also crazy is, those people in that region, the Middle East, they are persevering. So maybe this is true. Maybe when God says God does not require any soul more than what it can afford, maybe those people actually can. They can stand up. I don't know, because if you look at it, look what's happening. They're being attacked, and all they're saying is they're holding on to faith in a way more strongly. They're holding on to faith way more strongly. It seems like they're even more connected. It's like with Muslims, it's like the more you try to attack them, the stronger they get. Which is interesting. And then I'm going to do one more reference, because I'm thinking about this. So just hear me out. So in 256 of Surah Al Baqarah, it says, let there be no compulsion in religion, for the truth stands out clearly from falsehood. Whoever renounces false gods and believes in God has certainly grasped the firmest and unfailing handhold. So maybe that those people are being tested, kind of just like all the prophets were being tested. Like, didn't they throw... tell me if I'm wrong, but they threw Prophet Yusuf in the fire. The fire didn't burn. So all of these prophets, I mean, they tried to starve Prophet Muhammad, right? So all of these, it seems like maybe the closer to God is, the more he'll test you with the dunya, which kind of scares me. So God, maybe you should ask God for ease then. I don't know. What do you guys think?